because there is a lot of misinformation out there. You may have heard from some of your classmates or news reports. And what we wanted to try and do is to break down what the current status of the market was for college talent from what we're hearing, our account managers are hearing, employers of Wake Forest, and providing some data to give you the best understanding of what's happening right now. So, a couple of things that I want to share with you first. We have been monitoring this market now for about a little over 3 weeks, and we've looked at both internships and full-time jobs. And the information that's most current right now is coming to us at the end of last week, and that's pretty important because it's very fluid and dynamic and changing on a daily basis. And so the first thing I want to share with folks are those that are looking maybe for internships. Internships have probably been the hardest hit of any of the opportunities that are out there right now. Typically what's happening, our information shows about 50% of intern programs are remaining as is, but of those, most of them are moving to a virtual platform, and we're seeing a growing number of companies that are sticking to the internship program are shortening the period of time for these internships. Additionally, we've seen roughly about 30% of intern programs have been canceled, and about 20% or so are still kind of on the fence a little bit. And a lot of the information that we're seeing is folks are waiting as long as they can to make a decision. And initially it was around the 1st of April. Some of these companies are making decisions. Now they're pushing that back to mid-April. There's one site that I want to share with you. And Lisa, if I could get access to this, I'm going to share this with everyone. A screen that I have. And within that, this is a site called GitHub. GitHub actually crowdsourced a list of opportunities from different companies, from representatives from there. And this list here, the X's, will show you the companies that have canceled their internship programs. So there's no need to applying or reaching out to these particular companies. Again, it's crowdsourced. We're assuming that most of these are right, but we can verify some of these here: Marriott, Mullen Lowe, to name a few. And then at the bottom here, these are companies that are continuing their intern programs. You can see some other notes there saying that, for instance, they're going to be virtual interns or remote if needed. And within this, there's probably about, just looked at, about 62% are continuing, and about 38% of this list have said that they are canceling it. So that kind of aligns with the numbers that we've seen from our employers as well. So if you could bookmark this, maybe a member of the team, Lisa, or someone else that's on the call from employee relations, if they could, actually, I'll just do it, give you the opportunity there to go to it on your own, and you can take a look at this for all the internship hiring that is going on right now. And I've monitored that site now for a week or two. Someone from our staff found it, and it's been extraordinarily good for us as we move forward. So that's kind of what we're seeing on internships. With full-time opportunities, what we're seeing is a little bit more rosier picture. We have about, what we've seen is about 75% of the employers that have offered full-time are remaining committed to those. Now, one of the things that we are seeing is that companies may be pushing those start dates out a little bit to buy themselves an additional time. But for the most part, those companies are continuing with their full-time hires. Now, the ones that we've seen that are not continuing with the full-time hires, and that's been about 10% or so, These are some of from more of the hard-hit industries, so things in travel and hospitality, engineering, among others. So we've seen those full-time offers be rescinded for students. And then there's about maybe 15% or so that we've interacted with that are still in kind of that wait-and-see mode. That doesn't mean that they're going to cancel them, but they may be moving the start dates later on. So that's kind of what we're seeing there with full-time. And I got another site that I just want to share with you that, again, is really, really good. This one is actually probably better than the other site because it lists about 5,000 companies. This is candor.co. And I'm just going to give you an example here. As you can see at the bottom, there's 5,374 records. This is every company, and what they've done is crowdsource from people that may know something or work there, and it will tell you, for instance, that ladder.io is hiring. They're still hiring for growth marketing positions, and then it has a link here in terms of where to apply. If you look at that list, there's about 53% of those companies are hiring. So that's about nearly 3,000 companies. There's about 900 records here that have the actual site as to where do you go and apply for these full-time jobs. There's about 32% of those companies that report a hiring freeze, about 5% layoff, and then there's 10% where the information has two or more categories, as you can see here, like gusto. So you're having conflicting reports. Maybe there is some hiring going on, but then maybe there's been some offers rescinded in certain areas, so it's kind of incomplete. But a really great resource. And then at the bottom of this page, which I really enjoyed looking and tracking, it tells you how many total companies that are in each of these industries from that crowdsource, and it tells you what percentage are freezing or laying off. So, for instance, government and defense, only about 28% of those organizations have a hiring freeze or laying people off, which means 72% of the organizations in government and defense report hiring. Now, that's a much smaller number. As you can see, maybe about 50 or so organizations compared to, say, financial services, where you have more than 600. But it gives you a good idea in terms of what you're seeing as it relates to the industries that are in demand. So, for instance, around this this government and, say, consulting services, I know we have a session coming up, and Dane, if you could put that in the chat feature there, the FEMA information session that's going to be happening. They have a lot of needs right now. And also, we just got a call from an old colleague that is a recruiter at EY, and they have numerous opportunities in the government public sector in the audit practice. And you must be a U.S. citizen, and all those are in D.C. But there are pockets of where people are hiring. Government, healthcare, as you can see, some of the other software options there at the bottom. In addition, for maybe opportunities that you may not think of as ones that are going to be at the top of your list, but there's a lot of opportunities in supply chain, food and health retail. So the Walgreens, CVS's, Amazon, UPS, FedEx, or there may be in your Plan A now. And I think that's a big thing that we need to make sure job seekers are aware of, is now is the time not to stick entirely to your Plan A. You're going to have to go to a Plan B because things have changed. And even more so, what we kind of saying pro humanitate opportunities, ways in which you can serve your community during this crisis. It may mean working at an Aldi or a Kroger or a supermarket, stocking shelves so people can come in and get their food and their supplies, or maybe it's working at a pharmacy to get prescriptions out to people, or maybe it's delivering packages for people through Amazon or DoorDash or one of these other food delivery services. There's still opportunities there, and I think that's the main thing that we want to be able to share with you, is that there are opportunities there. So how do you find out about some of these opportunities? Well, of course, you can go into Handshake and find out about job postings, but also there's a number of virtual information sessions that are coming up. As I mentioned, the one with FEMA is going on at 6 p.m. There's another one actually tonight at 6 o'clock with Fifth Third Bank. That's more catered toward underclassmen that are looking for internships, from what Amy has shared with us. But I would also be on the call. You never know. There may be an opportunity for you for a full-time opportunity as well. So there are still some opportunities, certainly not what it was in the past. Mallory from our team has been tracking the number of Handshake logins, the number of applications of our students, and also the number of job postings in Handshake. And she will report, and I paraphrase here, that student activity was much lower the first couple of weeks when the whole virus stuff came out, but now it's gotten back to more on the level in which we were seeing it in the previous 2 years. With hiring and job postings with companies, it was at that kind of higher level, probably the best it's been in quite some time, if ever. And you're starting to see a little bit of a slower dip. Now, it is a little bit misleading because now in the Handshake platform, there's more companies that are in there as well. There's still postings that are being in there now, but maybe they're a little bit different than what they've been in the past. We're committed to continuing to call on our accounts, to do some sourcing for opportunities and posting that in the Handshake, and that's still going to be probably your best bet. Why? Because the companies that are putting jobs in the Handshake, they want college talent. When they go on and post the jobs, they say they want Wake Forest talent to get it. So therefore, your odds are better with these jobs in Handshake than they're going to be in Indeed or LinkedIn. Now, I'm not saying don't go into Indeed and LinkedIn. What I'm saying is now you're competing against everyone else. The last 2 weeks, the unemployment claims, there's been 10 million people that have filed unemployment for benefits. All right, these 10 million people are now going to be competing against jobs that would have been for just recent college graduates. So there's going to be more competition outside of Handshake because of what we're seeing in the market. So, as I said in this topic that we're having here, is we want to give you reality. That's the reality. The hope is with these job postings that you're seeing in some of the industries that are hiring, what can I do right now? And our team, in accordance with MRE and the OPCD, have created a very nice site to kind of walk you through your specific status. And so let me pull up the site right here. So there's a site on OPCD now called What Should I Do If I Blank? Okay, so what we're typically seeing from the newsletter that Lisa put together over the weekend is the biggest category or bucket of these 7. I'll give you a second there to look at it. Whether it's an internship, full-time, or grad school, is this one I'm hovering over right now, is internship. I'm looking for one. If you click on this site, you'll see that we've got a number of things that you can do immediately right now, whether that's looking at resources on the OPCD webpage, opening the email, scheduling, help with a coach, setting up search agents and looking at some of the other sites. Maybe you're looking for a full-time job. There's some additional resources there, steps that you can take right now. And if you're in one of these other categories thinking, well, what does this have to do with grad school right now? We've done some research on the whole pass-fail option. Is that going to help you with an employer or not? For the most part, it's not going to hurt you. About 85+% of our companies said it wouldn't hurt you, but you definitely want to look and talk to a coach and your academic department to get more advice on this. There's other things that if your offer has been rescinded, we have some templates here as to how you would communicate that with your coach. With your employer, excuse me. And the same thing here if you have an offer already, that if you're thinking, well, gosh, is it going to change in the next couple weeks? Should I be looking? There's some information there as well. And we'll share that link with you here as well. So at this time, I wanted to pause and answer any questions that you may have. Please put those in the chat feature. We also have a couple of representatives from ER on the call. They may be able to provide some additional color to some of these questions. So if you do have a question, please go to the site and share that information. And I'm going to hop back over and get the link from that other site. I failed to pick that up from my computer here. I'll get that and share that with you guys as well. Any questions that those listening may have? Okay, again, I want to let everyone know that we're going to be constantly monitoring this situation for you. We're going to be sharing the information in newsletters in this format on the OPCD website, among others. Probably the best thing you can do right now is to be active in Handshake. Apply to as many jobs as you can. Look at your Plan B and Plan C, because Plan A may be a bit of a long shot this particular time. Don't panic, don't stress. There are other opportunities that are available out there in a variety of different industries. There's info sessions that are being held as well. One comment that Dana has, one of our account managers and event managers, which is very good advice. You don't want to wait until the end of the deadline. You want to apply now and early. I think that's even more certain now, because I'm anticipating, as we all are, that people that do have opportunities, they're going to get flooded with candidates to fill these opportunities. And so you want to be on the front end of that as much as you can. Good advice, Dana, on that. We'll plan on continuing to keep you abreast of what's happening in the market. If you have any other questions, you can send me an email. I'll be glad to help you on a more one-on-one basis. There's my email there in the chat. It's mises@wfu.edu. In addition, we have, this will be live on demand from this session on the OPCD website. We'll be getting that out in the next day. We also recorded sessions on how to use Handshake. We have, I believe, a session, virtual track that we did with Tesla. I believe that's going to be available as well. But all this information will be on the website. We want to partner with you. We want to help you during this very difficult time. You don't have to go about it alone. We're here to help. There's a number of people on our team who are very gifted and talented and have hearts of gold and want to help you with your job or internship search. The same can be said if you're a business student with MRE, or if you're in the college or freshman or sophomore in OPCD. There's a lot of talented, smart, capable individuals that are ready to assist you in this unprecedented event that we're witnessing. If I don't see any more questions, which I don't see, thank you all for participating, and we hope to hear from you soon. And until next time, good luck.